Get you zoomed in a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Man, what are we even doing? It feels like it's been so long since I've even painted. On screen anyway. Hi everybody, my name is Paint with Josh. We're here to teach you how to do it literally every single step painting again, because everybody loves the literally every single step. So this is a 16 by 20 inch canvas. As you can tell, it's nice and dry, right? We don't have anything on it yet. We're gonna take our 2-inch brush, either the Bob Ross or the Paint with Josh 2-inch brush. I tend to use the Bob Ross brushes to put on the liquid white just because they're a little bit more sturdy and they can push it a little bit further, right? But whatever you have, I've proven that the Paint with Josh ones work as well. These ones just do it a little bit quicker, and that way we can keep the show moving a little bit faster, right? So this is an oil blending medium that they call Bob Ross liquid whites, right? There's also a company called Grumbacher's that makes an equally good version of the liquid white, and they call theirs first coat liquid white, right? So either one of those you can get, and it's a very runny, you can see this one's almost empty, very runny, milky paint. And we need to spread it with a lot of force. So let me tell you that it is not a lot of paint up there. It's a very small amount of paint. If we did it on a black canvas, you can actually see it's not a lot. But what we do is we use a lot of force in order to smush and push and spread the paint all over the canvas as thinly as possible, right? Now, as thinly as possible does not mean very thick and goopy and globby and sticky, right? It should feel like there's nothing on the canvas at all. So if you have too much paint on there, you're gonna go and wanna take a paper towel and wipe off all that excess paint that you don't need, and don't worry, you'll never be able to get the canvas perfectly dry again. It'll never happen like that. So this tends to be a little boring, but people want to see every single step. So we show you literally the Paint with Josh less videos. Literally every single step less, right? Fine. Nobody gets me. I don't even know why you guys watch, honestly. So, man, it feels good to be back in town, back on your screens, and just kicking total canvas butt. I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, we're gonna have a 4-color painting today. It's all you need. 4 colors. Blue, crimson, black, white. Does not matter which color. People ask me all the time, oh, what color blue? Whatever you have, it doesn't matter, honestly. So this is ultramarine blue, right there in the front. You see it's kind of brighter. That blue in the back is Prussian blue from my classes I just got back from in Washington. So thank you, by the way, Danny, for having me, hosting me, and just being so nice when I was up there in Washington. It's always a pleasure to go up there to Happily Painted Studio. Go check them out, right? We're gonna take our blue, we're gonna drop it onto our canvas. Now, since we just wet down the canvas and everything's nice and wet, and that's how you check, by the way. You wanna make sure it's just about that much. Since we've wet our canvas down, and I think, look at this. This is like shaky because my screw is coming out. Hang on, give me 2 seconds, guys. I don't know why it tends to do this literally in the middle of the show. There we go, nice and sturdy. It's just guy stuff, right? If it doesn't work, just put a screw in it. It's fine. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna drag our blue color across our white canvas, right? And we'll be able to tell where we didn't have enough of our liquid white, right? In little places where I have to really work to get it to cover. That means I didn't have enough liquid white in that spot, but it's okay, right? It's perfectly fine. Now we're gonna do the same thing on top and bottom. We're gonna take our ultramarine blue, or our Prussian blue, or your Phthalo blue, or whatever blue you have. It honestly doesn't matter one single bit. Okay, we're gonna pull it from the edges. Not gonna let it touch down here. Ooh, this is gonna be nice, guys. We're just trying to kind of match whatever it looks like on either side, just very lightly dragging our paint. We can always crisscross and blend it together. You could do it in circles, honestly. How do you want yours to look? It's all up to you, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is get another brush or go and clean your blue brush. We should have done the crimson first, but you know me. You know me. We're gonna take our Bob Ross our Bob Ross crimson, the Alizarin crimson color, get about that much of it onto the bristles of the brush. It's not a whole lot, brand new brush too. We come up in here and drop in that crimson, and then drop it down here more heavily, right? So push harder, blend it out more. It can be a bigger spot down there than it can up here. Now, by the time that we come in and mix all this stuff together, we'll go back to my blue brush real quick, pop a little bit of blue back in here like that, just mix it down into the crimson, mix it up into the crimson, so it's not just a flat, straight line, okay? Now we're gonna use a clean brush. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? Let's put a little bit of black into our sky too. Every time we use black into our sky, guys, you do not need too much, okay? And I agree, this looks like a 4-year-old's painting. Just wait until we blend it out, okay? I'm gonna drop a little bit of our black up here. This is the Bob Ross Midnight Black. It's not a very deep, dark black color, so I have to put a fair amount of it on so it doesn't blend away instantly, okay? Just like that. Perfection. Okay, let's go wash our brushes off, guys. Now, I'm gonna show you in a little jar. That's a good one right there. Look at that guy, right? You can see the liquid. Can you? I gotta get behind the cameras real quick. I don't want to spill it, that's for sure. Okay, you see the liquid, but you can also see that solidified gunk at the end, right? Get it over there for Facebook so you can see. The liquid is very clear. It looks like water, but it is not water at all. And it's a very, what's the word for it? Like not strong. What's the weak version of paint thinner, right? That odorless mineral spirits. I'll show you on the other brush. I know I was chit-chatting my way through that one. But you definitely don't want to use water. Water and oil does not mix, and therefore it will not clean off our brushes. Now, what I'm going to do is, because the level is way down here, it's going to look like I'm dunking my entire brush. But we're only going to get down to the level and just get in about 1/4 inch, right? Dip it in there, and you're going to have all this excess stuff coming out. Right? That's why we spin it and rotate it inside the jar, which is why the jar is covered in paint and you can't see through it anymore. Right now, there's no more gunk inside, but I definitely don't want to get up here because it's still full. And I'm talking about, I can feel it's heavy because it's full of wetness. Look at all that wet shininess right there, right? Definitely don't want that back up on our canvas. So we flick it into a trash can. And the way that I do it is kind of like flicking it like you would whip somebody with a towel. Remember doing that back in the day? Wind up a towel and then you whip it at them. We do it like that, and then you go into your bucket, beat the devil out of it into the bucket. Right? I have a golf ball basket down in the bucket of mine, down in the bottom of my bucket. And I'm going to show you this guy real quick. This is a homemade beater bucket that one of my students, Brenda, made. Right? I know it's going to be close, but we're there we go. It's got a wooden doweling down inside, so you can see. You reach inside there, you beat the brush onto that doweling, and then it contains it all. You close your lid, and that way it's not kind of floating on us, right? So now we've got a clean, dry brush. Remember, always dab the brushes hard on a paper towel. Hard. Like you're knocking on the door. Just hard, right? Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do as I start blending this sky together is just check in. Just tell me where you're watching from out there in the world. Where are you from? Where are you from out there, man? Where are you from? Working, adulting, I feel that. I feel that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so you can find my brushes, right, over on paintwithjosh.com. I see it in the TikTok comments over here. They look like this. They're black handles. They're gorgeous. They used to be gold, and since I've painted with it now, it's kind of faded it away. But it used to be nice and pretty and golden. Right now, if we're going to use the Paint with Josh brush, we're going to come up here, and we're going to mix it softly. Right? The more, this is where it gets tricky too, because the more soft that you want your painting, the more pressure, the harder you have to push into it, right? So if we want it soft, that means we really gotta scrub it hard and start to blend those colors together with our liquid white. You can see the blue is fading up into the pink. It's changing colors, right? All these things, we're gonna mix our whole canvas. See, this whole thing is a lot of blending initially because there's only one single tree inside this entire painting, right? So what we're gonna do is as we get up here and you start crisscrossing those colors, see? Even with the Paint with Josh brush, you can do it. I've proven it. I have so many videos with just Paint with Josh brushes or using Paint with Josh brushes to make certain shapes. And if we're not using the Paint with Josh brushes, we're using a Bob Ross brush. It's very similar. Mine are a little thinner. This one looks fat because it's been all worn out. But as you can see, there's less bristles inside my brushes than there are inside Bob's brushes. So we use them for different things, right? If I want to be very fine and very controlled and get into a little tiny space, and then I'm going to use my Paint with Josh brush. If I don't care and I just want to scrub some stuff onto the canvas, then we can use our Bob Ross brushes, because that's what they're designed to do, right? My brushes are designed to be a little bit softer, a little bit smaller, where you can fit them into different places and do different things with them. Again, the more pressure that you drag, right, the more that gray will extend outwards wherever we want it to be. It's all up to us every time. So, you guys, one more time, check in. I'm going to come back there and actually read the comments this time, but just check in. Tell me where you're watching from. Out there in the night. Where are you guys from in the night out there? Try to get a little bit of this color onto the under the easel and onto the edges of the canvas, because you guys know me. It does not look finished to old Paint with Josh without there being some color, at least on the side of the canvas. So, only takes a minute or two. Make sure that you get your color on there, and if you have some liquid white on the canvas as well, on the sides, it really helps it blend a little bit easier. So, where are you guys from out there in the world? I'm gonna come look. I swear, I just got one more side to do. Just real quick, like 5 minutes later. Real quick, like. It's because there's so little amount of paint on the canvas, right? We're spreading it so thinly that it is hard to get any more to come off of our brush and get anywhere else. There we go. Well, I know, I'll get my big head out of the way. I know. I'm just trying to get the side of the canvas. Now, again, the more we push on this stuff, the better your sky will blend together. Right? We don't want to see where the blue and the black and the crimson were. We want to see this wavy little, just crazily soft, meaning we're pushing on it much harder down here, right? So we can blend those colors together. I don't even want to be able to tell where the sky and the water meet. I want it to be so soft that you can't even tell where one is. And so in order to make it soft, we have to scrub it hard, just hard. And the more that we scrub it, the softer it gets, because it's mixing and mixing and mixing and making it more difficult to see where we initially put those colors on. So, you can do it too, guys. I'm telling you, the more that you practice at it, the better you'll get at getting the right amount of paint on the canvas, right? Because it's all about the 3 P's of Paint with Josh, guys, and we all know those 3 P's. I want you guys to type them in the comments right now. And then I'll ask you again where you're from, and we'll actually go look next time, because I'm not done. But this whole painting is literally one tree, so you have to have a perfect background for your one tree to stand out in, right? It's literally going to be like this. This big old crazy branchy bare tree, right? So we get to decide when we're done blending, how soft it looks, this, that, and the other. All up to us. But if you don't, like if you miss a spot that it doesn't look blended, you're gonna notice it by the time you get finished, let me tell you. Let me tell you. So, work it, spread it like a clock, right? Up here, out there, over there, over there, over there, just like hours of a clock. And you can go back and blend it together. Even with the Paint with Josh brushes, you can do some amazing things with these brushes, you guys. We're gonna be using our Paint with Josh liner brush, our Paint with Josh fan brush, Paint with Josh 2-inch brush, obviously. The Paint with Josh bush brush. We're gonna be using a lot of Paint with Josh brushes today. This video is definitely going in the Paint with Josh brushes playlist over on my tube over there. So, you guys, you're looking amazing out there. How you feeling? How you feeling? Over there in South Carolina, everywhere. Dude, this one sold, what? This one sold already? What? There's no way. Who got it? Who did it then? Because it was available, so I'm honeybees. Right on. Well, thank you. It's not even, okay. All right, I guess the show's over, guys. She got this one, so let's paint a new. No, I'm just kidding. We'll finish up. Okay, now that we've blended this thing nice and softly throughout our entire thing, and if you missed the 3 P's of Paint with Josh, because I am ADHD hard today. Paint, pressure, practice, right? It all depends on the amount of paint on the brush or on the canvas. The amount of pressure that we then push and spread and mix together. And then practice. How many times have you done it before? Don't expect it to be perfect on your first go. Okay, let me tell you that. Now we're gonna get out here. Now our sky is nice. I've blended it out. It looks pretty awesome and amazing over there, right? We're gonna get out here and just throw in a faraway little cloud. little bit of our titanium white, spread it. Look at how much was right there. Oh my, that's a big pile. We're gonna spread it out so it's very thin. Because why? Why do I always do this, guys? I must have said it 50 times when I was teaching classes in Washington yesterday, and the day before, and the day before that. We can always add more paint. We can't take it away once it's up there, right? So get out here, hold it like this, whatever. You can have this little soft, little flat, little thing. It doesn't even have to get crazy big or anything. The only thing you need is enough paint out there to grip it with your brush. So make it at least about an inch big. Because when those 1-inch brushes come out, they tend to blend that stuff away very fast. Now you can see the brush is no longer white because it's been rubbed and scrubbed and all that, trying to get all the white paint to come off, right? Then we can either come back here with our big old Paint with Josh 2-inch brush, or 1-inch brush, or the Bob Ross 1-inch brush, or your little fluffer brush, or whatever brush you want to use. And you just mix it, okay? Now let's say I didn't like this spot over here, or whatever, okay? We'll come back, push on it harder, and literally blend it away so it's no longer there anymore, right? All that pressure. We want this guy to be a nice flat, just a flat old little thing. I can push on the paint, blend it, push it, slide it, extend it, blend it, extend it, and you just get this soft little thing out there. That's all you really need. You don't, in this painting anyway, you don't need an enormous cloud. Right? We want everything back here to be hard to see so that our foreground really stands out. If you've got a big chunky cloud with a lot of texture on there, right? You see all the little stuff, that's no good because then our foreground is not going to stand out, okay? Now we're going to mix up a color that we call around here Paint with Josh Black. Oh my God, there's so much skin on the top of this blue. That thing dried up fast on the way home. There we go. I had the windows open. They're like my car reeked of dioxazine purple. And if you guys have ever used dioxazine purple, you know exactly what it smells like. And so I had all these paintings that I was bringing home, which, by the way, there's another one just like this, right, that we're kind of going off of, which I painted in the classes, which is available on paintwithjosh.com. It's right there, right underneath this one that's at the top. So you just scroll down a little bit. But yeah, I had the windows open, and apparently this blue got some skin on it real fast. That big bristle out there. Okay, you guys just check in, tell me where you're watching from, and I'm gonna mix up 2 parts blue, 2 parts crimson, 1 part black into a color that we call what? Somebody type it in the comments, please, so I don't have to say it anymore. Please, what do we call this mixture of paint around here on the Paint with Josh experience? I'm still trying to come up with a name for the show. Let's see, we got Oklahoma, Philly, everywhere in the basement. Black, that's right, Michigan, you guys. Dude, that's cool, following along with spray paint. I like that, very different to the oil paints. All right, exactly, Terry King over there. We would erase it if we push too hard. You guys are amazing. Look at how many people are checking in from everywhere. There's over 1,200 people watching on TikTok, and they're all checking in right now. Hang on, let me try to catch up with you guys. All right, keep going. Let's see how fast I can read it. All right, Ohio, Patterson, Saturn, Washington, Florida, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Colorado, Long Island, Missouri, Denmark, Missouri again, Mississippi, Minnesota, California, Melbourne, Daytona Beach, Massachusetts, Puerto Rico, California, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Massachusetts. There's lots of Massachusetts. Some Indianans over here, Alabamans, some Oregonians. I'm in Oregon too. Thank you for watching. I'm over here in Eugene, Oregon. We've got our own studio. We teach classes and all sorts of stuff. So, hope you guys are ready to have some fun. Now that we've mixed up this very dark bit of color, we shall be taking our Paint with Josh fan brush, which is very much like an acrylic fan brush. Very thin, very flimsy in the bristles, right? But if we can get enough paint in there, and this is our very thick, consistency oil paints. We can get enough of this stuff in there. We can hold those guys together just like an axe and make a very sharp line. Look at that line over on Facebook. Hang on. Whoop. There we go. Very sharp, very sharp. You can't even barely see it. It's so sharp. Right now, our tree lives right down here about, let's just say about 2 to 3 inches from the bottom of our 16 by 20 inch canvas. So you need to at least project something up into your clouds, otherwise it's not going to make any sense. If our tree was this big, boop, it's not going to be really crazy, right? It's a little weird, isn't it? And all we did was just wiggle our brush down very vertically like this. Don't put it flat, otherwise it'll be as fat as your fan brush is, okay? Now let's decide angle it away, just like this. We're not straight onto it, we're angled up. So we're tilting the bottom corner of the brush back towards us, right? Let's get up here, and remember, we don't need to make this one too big or too tall. The more you go down, the more you push. I'm gonna change and get a fatter little trunk down here. Bang, just like that, right? Blast it on. It's got another arm that comes off of this side. Another little guy come off of that side. Remember, these are just our thickest parts of our tree trunk. We're gonna add our branches nigh on now as we come over here with our odorless mineral spirits. I sometimes feel like I have to yell when I'm way over here because everyone says my volume sucks when I turn away from the camera, and I'm so sorry, right? But I feel like I speak at such a loud level, and I've been doing it for so long, that if I were to have a microphone right here, you'd be blasting your ears out just because of the level that I've been speaking at. All right, now we're taking our odorless mineral spirits, we're getting it inside of our plaque mix, just overly hang on, I'm trying to show it on screen, there you go. Overly filling the brush with a ton of wet paint. Now this oil paint is as wet as watercolor, meaning that we can come up here, attach, start breaking off, getting really skinny if you want to, or being really big if you want to. It's all up to you where you want to have these branches grow, right? Full pressure on the brush, and it can be as big as a fan brush, right? Over here, we start wiggling it, jiggling it. Where? Don't let them touch, or don't let them crisscross too much anyway. Over here, the more lightly that we touch the canvas, the sharper the branch will be with your Paint with Josh liner brush. Now, after about 3 branches, you can see there's no more wet, watery pile in there. And remember, it's not water, even though we're saying watery, that is a descriptive word. It is not exactly what we're using, right? It's watery consistency now, see it dripping down? That's what you want to have. So you go back after 3-4 branches, you get some more of your odorless mineral spirits. You come off of this guy and you go, hello, just wow, throw him out here, put him wherever, another big old branch off of his side. Where do you want it to be? How do you want it to grow, right? There, over there. Anywhere you have a little space for another, or a little kink, right? You put off another little branch. And you can make them as thin as you want with this Paint with Josh liner brush. They are so thin, you guys. But it's not just the brush. It is the wetness of the paint, the consistency of the paint. Oh man, I can see something in my own painting that's making me laugh already. It's the consistency of the paint that is making it fall off and attach onto the canvas, right? We have our brush sort of down at this angle so it gravity feeds all the way down. I'm gonna touch that. Okay, so there we go. Gravity feeds down as it's hitting the canvas and dropping off all these little things. And remember guys, you get to decide how big, where they go, how much, how many, where they crisscross. Do they come off of this guy? Do I not like that? There we go. Bang, right there. Just have it be a little bit more bulbous, right? All these things don't have to just be perfect. Remember, you can have one coming off just like that. It does not matter where it is, what it is, as long as it's very thin towards the end, right? You don't want it to be thicker on the end than it is where it's holding on to its trunk, that's for sure. And that branch would have broke off a long time ago, right? Go back in, grab some more of our odorless mineral spirits. Back over here, and yes, whip one off that way, throw it off over here. The lighter that you touch this canvas, the sharper your branch will be. Maybe, it just looks like it's just bang, whipping off that side, going out of the end. It needs a couple more little scragglers, just like that. Little bits that just literally pieces that didn't get to grow as far, or they broke off, or something happened. You gotta tell little stories when you're doing these things, you guys. Boop, down in the side there. Some of the times you can make a silhouette of a face, or I've done where it's like a beating heart inside of the tree before. All depends on how you're making your branches. And if you're gonna do that, think about it beforehand, because this one looks like it needs to be a little thicker. Oh, guys, that's cool. That's stinking. There. Crazier. There. Just have it be odd and weird and strange. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's do 1 or 2 more. Just in through here. And it's just the plaque mix and our odorless mineral spirits. That's it. There's nothing else. It's just that, and it's very wet. If yours is coming off of your brush and it's too big, right, then your mixture is off. You don't have the right mix of paint. So go back and get a little bit more of that wetness onto the brush, okay? And once the wetness is there, it will fall off of the brush much more easily. Oh, guys, look at this thing. That is incredible. Incredible. I'm gonna make this guy even bigger. Go up here. There. 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 Now I'm liking it. Now I'm digging it. And that means if we've got this big thing right here and then it goes into a skinnier part of the trunk, that's why I'm not liking it. And I'm just noticing it now. We don't need to keep adding branches up there. We need to keep adding branch, or at least some thicker bits in there. See? See? See how that works? I'll drop that. Oh, goodness. Okay, now let's go back in here. We're gonna grab our Paint with Josh bush brush. Nice and black. Remember, they come with gold ferrules. Mine's just all crazily dark because I've used it for 2 years now. Mine is also very fluffy, as you can see. If you get your Paint with Josh set, it will not look like this initially because they wrap it in this little like sheathing thing, and it looks like that. Like, who's gonna be able to make a bush with something like this, right? So what I want you to do is when you very first get the Paint with Josh brush, you take the bush brush out and you flatten it as much as you possibly can with as much pressure, twist it back and forth, just hammer it down, you know what I mean? And the more you do that, the more it will fluff. The more you use it, the more it will fluff as well. We're gonna take the last little bit. You know what, let me show you real quick. Scrape up this thicker pile of paint. Yeah, see the difference between the two piles, the wetness anyway? Crazy. We need the thicker version now. We'll probably end up needing, yeah, we will need some more. So let's go make up some more. If you're making some, make up a bit more. I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna start tapping on to this little guy. We don't need to get too big or too crazy or whatever. We're gonna tap on, we're gonna tap off of this side, over here. They're pretty flat along the top, okay? What I want is a little dip in the middle. Little dip, so we're gonna come down, come down, come down. Just a little bit, right? We're gonna go back and take away what we don't like anyway, but you have to have the paint there in order to be able to do this. Now we'll come back with our Paint with Josh 2-inch brush again. Has not been cleaned since we've been mixing out our sky. All right, we're gonna come over here. Let's grab it just with the half of the brush, see that? Push, pull it down, okay? Drop down a little bit. Come over for the other half of the brush. Grab, pull it down. See how we're making little steps on the way down here? This guy, again, we've lowered it. Now we're gonna go a little higher, and a little higher, and a little higher each time, making our little U shape of a thing. Swipe it over very, very softly. If you can get it so soft where you can keep some of these little reflections in there, oh, that's fantastic. Look at it, you guys. Little things that we didn't even have to do because we didn't do too much, right? If we would have done too much, then we would have done too much. Now, let's put a little bit, I told you we'd have to make up a bit more, a little bit more of our plaque mix. So we'll go blue, black, and crimson again. Mix it up into a dark purplish black color that we call Paint with Josh plaque, of course. You guys check in one more time. Let me know where you're watching from out there. In the night. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's a tree on an island in a misty lake. That's what I'm feeling. That's what look at the size of this tree, you guys. That's so cool. Gotham. We got Houston, Kansas, New York, South Carolina, Virginia, Florida, United Kingdom, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. Boom. Very Edgar Allan. I like that. I like that. Louisiana, UK, Sacramento, Ireland, Kuwait. That's cool. Montreal. Man, a lot of international. Like someone was saying, they're like, "Oh, you're like a national artist, right? Like you're like known throughout the U.S." I was like, "Actually, I've got followers all over the world," and it's an incredible thing. Like I literally wake up like I'm in a dream, or I expect to wake up every day and be back to like 3,000 followers and 6 years ago, and it's just a dream, literally every day. Now watch, we're gonna come and cut in this stuff right here. We're gonna cut it down, so now we have a bit of flat land where it can come out and meet our water, okay? Now, if you push too hard on that guy and leave a big old fat ridge, then it's gonna sort of be more difficult to do our little water area. But again, we're just starting higher, working lower, just exactly like we did with our brush, except we're cutting it in with our palette tool is all. Now we're gonna go back, see if we have any liquid white. That's barely anything. Okay, I'm gonna come back over here. I'm gonna touch that with the paint side down. We're gonna scrub it, and the more we scrub it, the more we push. All right, so as we're pushing it, it should drop that excess paint out the front or the back, and you can see, right, as we were contacting that black part of our paint, it got a little bit of color on that white area, right? You can see that. So the more you push in, the more it's going to let that paint drop off, right? Initially, it comes off very easy, and then it stops. And you're like, well, what happened? There's still a ton. Just push in more. Bend the blade towards the canvas like that. Don't push it and bend it this way, right? Well, you want it to bend back towards you and pushing against the canvas. I'll show you right here just on the palette. It's kind of easier to see up close. That's we got our roll of paint. If I start right here, eventually, roll of paint is no more, but there's still a ton left. So if I push a little harder and push a little harder, and now I'm bending the blade, right? Bending it, it will drop off the rest of that paint. So it's a thing I was showing in my classes this last weekend up at Happily Painted Studio. We'll be going back very soon and doing another set of classes up there. So I hope you guys are ready, right? That's what I want to do too. Since we've got our a limited palette painting, we're going to take our white. We're going to mix it with a little bit of our plaque mix to get that gray. There it is right there. A little bit of bluish gray. And the more plaque that I mix into the white, the more darkish bluish gray it'll go, right? I don't want it to be like snow out there, but I do want to have a little bit of texture. So I'm going to scoop it up and come out here and just deposit it. It's very much the same color that's there, right? So all we need is that, just a little bit of texture on it. And you have a little bit of ground to play with, right? If you want to have it be brighter, grab your white and then just mix the white, right? So overdo it. Don't just drop off a whole gunk of white and leave it out there. Mix it until it goes to that grayish color that you want to see. Leave a little bit of separation in between the two bits of white now, right? That's why we have that black underneath there. And if you've lost it, go back, scrape up the smallest thing you can possibly touch and just get a little bit of darkness back in between. It'll just help with your shadow. I'm telling you. Man, guys, that's a cool looking painting. Now, you guys are gonna have to start coming up with a title for this painting because it belongs to Honeybees and she needs your help in coming up with a title. Now this time I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter, right? Because I know as I mix it in with this plaque mix, it's gonna start to go away. Now we're gonna decide, up to you, really, like make a decision. The sky is the same throughout. So there's, you know, we get to kind of determine where our light source is. Come over into this kind of lightish, grayish, bluish stuff. And we'll come on and start tapping onto our tree. Right, just tapping, 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 tapping. Then go back and tap over it until it mixes down to a darker color. Right, if you've got too much paint on there, then it may not mix down. So scrape that thing off, back and do it again. Little bits, right? Don't let them all touch. Can't let the color touch everywhere. You don't need that. But just having this little bit of brighter color just on the one side of the bigger branches. And again, leave some gaps, some separation in between, okay? Since I chose light on this side, that means I've got to get it on the underside of this guy. Again, don't do too much. You don't even have to go all the way out to the edge. That's the best part. It gets too thin out there for our eyes in real life to decipher what color it is. Against all that bright, you're looking at it like this and you can't really tell if the end of the branch is brown or blue or black or whatever. It just looks like a little silhouette against the sky. And that's in real life. So we can paint it that way if we want it to, right? We can get as close out there as we can, but not make it all the way to the edge because you don't need to do it. You just don't need it. Come up here. These are only on the bigger ones. You don't want to try to get onto these small little guys if you're trying to do it with your palette tool. So then it starts getting sketchy, man. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title for this. Tell Honeybees what you think it should be called, and then she's going to tell us what to title it. And I think we're going to put the birds way up here in this one. That way we won't have to reflect them, right? If you do it down here, then the lower to our, assumed horizon, which is real low in this painting, that could be the horizon on the back of the lake, right? And they could be flying anywhere in between. So if they're coming in real low, I would expect to see them in the water, and I don't want to do them upside down. Let me ask you guys, because I know you guys want to learn. I've tried it before, and if it doesn't work, you can always blend it out, right? So should we do the birds down here and then reflect them into the water? What do you think? Yes or no? Just type in yes or no, right? Are we doing the birds here and reflecting them in the water? Yes or no? That's all I need you to answer. One little thing, and I'm going to get some of my odorless mineral spirits while I'm waiting for your answers to pile up. Gotta get the spirits in there and have it just be wet, man, because you want them to come off easily, right? Look at that. It's just it's so watery, and it's a lot just for the 3 birds. Well, it's gonna be 6 birds this time if we're gonna reflect them. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's see. We got no, yes over on YouTube. Sure, sure. I like that. Just sure, whatever. Okay. All right, let's do it then, guys. Okay, we're gonna come out here. I'm gonna show you. I have a maul stick, and I forgot my maul stick. It's literally sitting right here, so I could take it with me to Washington, and it stayed here the entire time. So if you don't have one of those, let me show you a different trick. This is what I was doing. There we go. I can put my brush handle against the side of the canvas over here, right? Pulling it away from me, and then rest on my hand to make my hand like a table, okay? Now I can come out here and just go, caw-caw, and launch down these little birds and have my hand not have to float so much, right? If I'm up here, I can't judge, and it'll go in and it'll make a real big mess of everything, right? So, since I didn't have my maul stick in Washington, that's what I was doing. And then obviously you can't do it in the middle of the painting, right? You're like, how far can I get? So we'll get our maul stick out. But it's just a yardstick that I got from Lowe's, right over here around the corner. Ka-cha! Okay, now, guys, I've never done them really upside down. I'm not gonna do them like that. If we're gonna do it, let's, the painting's already sold, so I don't wanna make a mess of it. So if we're gonna do it, let's do it like this. And flip this sucker, just like that. Right, now, I'll be making the same motion, right, with my hand, instead of trying to do it this way, because I've not practiced that. I would have messed up the very first one. Just going off that, I would have messed it up totally. Right, so let's get back to how we like to do it. And if you have to flip your canvas, then flip your canvas. Do you know how many times I said in my classes this weekend, however it is easiest for you to do is the way you should be doing it? You know what I mean? You don't have to try to force yourself to hold it like me if you can get the same shape doing it a different way, right? Okay, now, these have to go up. Remember, they're not gonna go down the same way because that's gonna look funky. And we can determine how high they are flying above the water based on where we put their reflections, right? Looks like a big old tree root going down. That's cool, guys. Just hang it like that. Hang it upside down. It's a floating hanging tree. Okay, let's come over here. I know I'll be in some of your guys' way, and I'm sorry. Let's go like this. Just regular, Josh. Just do a regular. Ka-ka! Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna go up. Ka-ka! Just like that. We're gonna go up one more time. Zip! Dude, that's money right there. As they say. There we go. Just like that. Now we've got a pretty neat little reflection of our little bird family flying through the sky. And it's up to us how, do we want to leave them nice and sharp like that? Or do we want to swipe over it once in each direction and make them kind of faded? Now remember, I don't want to have to do this again. So if I push too hard, like on this stuff, it's very thick, that very thick paint, you can push on this all day and it's not going to do anything. You know what I mean? It's going to take you forever to make it go all the way away. If we do that on these guys too roughly, it is going to smear them because they are the wettest paint you can possibly have. Do I even want to touch them? I don't think I even do, honestly. Do I? Oh, I know, we should fade them. I know. Okay, here we go, guys. And I'm talking about, what is that giant chunk of black paint right there? How did you get there how long have we been here? Oh, it's gonna get all, yep, it's gonna just all inside the bristles right there. Fabulous. Fabulous. It's my Paint with Josh plaque. I can see the color of it on the paint. Okay, here we go, right? I do not want to brush it like this because I will push in too hard and take them away. They'll be gone forever, right? So what we want to do is hold it vertically and just, I'm talking about just like what? We won't even be able to see this, right? Like, bang. Touch it so softly. And I'm talking about softer than soft. Okay, here we go. Oh, goodness. Okay, wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Oh, that was softer than soft, and it did touch it, but not enough. Oh, God, right there. Okay. Right there. There. Very, very soft. 1 or 2 swipes to the side, and now I can push on it harder and make them go away if I wanted to. Look at that, though. That I like better. That I like better. This one's a little bit steep in its coloration. There. That little flappers floating through. It's cool. I like it. So what's the title of this one, guys? What are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? That's all we really need to do is just disturb it a little, right? If you can just disturb it a bit, that's gonna help you out. There. Bring that guy out a little flatter. There. Much better. Okay. So what are we gonna title this one? Let's see out there. Guys, it's cool, but now, right, it seems like maybe do this. Just want to clean up this whole thing again. Right, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to put a little bit more of my plaque mix right over the top of everything. There. Very good. Very good. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to have to push on this stuff more, right? Multiple times. Pushing it down, climbing up a little higher, less pressure, so it stays short, right? Down here you can be nice and long. Up there, nice and short. Drag it. Piece of paint out of it. Drag it down. There. There. Much flatter across. Paint with Josh brushes are so soft, you guys. I love them. Who's this Paint with Josh guy? Because I love his brushes. A little of my titanium white and a little bit of liquid white too, just because we need that liquidicity of it. There. There. You don't have to connect. You just want a little indication, something out there, kind of floating by. Like it. I like it. I like everything though. I just like everything. Change up my, I'm gonna have more darkness down here. Sneak it back. There we go. Step back and look at it. In fact, it may need to go even further inside. There. There. Right? Painting at this angle where I'm at, you're up on this angle and it's hard to make something look flat. Because to me, it might look flat up here, and to you guys, it's all cockeyed and all askew. Okay. Small amount. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, there. It's all about, you can't have too steep of, oh, you can. You can have too steep of an angle. And if you do have too steep of an angle, it's just going to be weird looking. And if you're just the one that's not going to like it, right? You're going to be the one that doesn't like it if it's too steep back there. We're going to come back and cover over some of these little bits of bush with our highlights, all sorts of stuff. Here we go. There. Come back in. A little touch more. Down here. There we go. Just gotta work at it until you guys like it. You know what I mean? It's all up to us how it looks. Now, I'm gonna get a little bit more of my liquid white. Whoops. About dropped the whole jar right there. That would have been a bad deal, let me tell you. We get our liquid white, just a bit, like literally a couple little spots when I come out here. Just very light, because we don't need a whole lot. And the more that we tap onto it, the more it's gonna go dark. So remember, little things just off the front of the brush, Nothing out there needs to be perfect. I'm talking literally a couple bristles might help you get some cool themes out there. If you overload the brush, then guess what? It's gonna be overloaded. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. In the Whispers. Like that. In the Whispers. That's a cool title. Again, I'm getting such a small amount. That's even too much. Just a small, couple little spots on there. And then I'm kind of rotating the brush, spinning it around so we don't have all these little guys everywhere. And then the last thing we're gonna do, what was the title again? In the Whispers? In the Whispers. Last thing we're gonna do is come in here, from our dark area, because we're on a white canvas, we can scrape away all these little sticks and twigs and different little stuff, make them go up into your tree. It'll help push it into the distance just by a little bit. You can have them extend out and up into your sky, even though this one's kind of difficult to see. Little guys, don't need to have too many. A couple little bits out there. And then you can always scrape them at different angles or different heights. This cool little thing. So, In the Whispers. I like that for a title, guys. Who came up with that one? That's a good title. Top of the canvas real quick. Over here. Man, this one is number 1976. I can't believe it. I totally spaced it too, and I'm sorry, miss it. When you were like, oh, can we do that one on when you come back? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, not realizing that I had to do 4 paintings in between at those classes, and I couldn't just not count them. So, I'm so sorry about that, honestly. And then number 1972 got actually kept by the studio owner as the gift, so it's not even available, and I'm so sorry. I know we had planned that out. This one's called In the Whispers. I cannot talk, I can't write, I can't spell. This one was done on 8/4/2024. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's the best place of all time. You gotta get over there and check it out, man. What a great title. What an awesome little painting tutorial that you can learn to do. We did a little reflection with the birds. We did all sorts of stuff in this one, guys. And it came out fantastic. Fabulous. Goodness gracious. God, I love that. It's really cool. So, honeybees, thank you so much for that one. Reese's Pieces, did I say 2024? And yes, I do need to sign it. We're going to flip the camera around real quick. Did I say 2024? Did I honestly do that? Because it's possible. I may have said that. But we're going to double check real quick. It could have been just my dyslexia, which happens quite often. You know what I mean? Let me get you guys in the right spot over here. There we go. There. So, could have been my dyslexia, Reese's Pieces. But it's Murphy's Law. You've heard of Murphy's Law before. Murphy's Law, that law that says, like, if it can happen, it will happen, right? Everyone's heard of that before. There's this other law that's, like, much more geared towards my craziness. And that is by this guy named Cole. And I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not. So I'm going to ask you, have you ever heard of this guy named Cole? And very much like Murphy, he wrote a law, and it tends to do more with art. And it's okay if you haven't heard of it. It's a little bit more obscure, right? And so Reese's Pieces, I'm just asking you if you've ever heard of this guy named Cole. And just say yes or no. That's all you do. Yes or no. And I'm going to start to clean off some of these brushes. And then we're going to talk to everybody all together, right? Look at this. Literally fantastic. Fantastic. Sod's Law. Yes, I was married to a British person for 12 years. I know of the British sod. That's cool. It's cool. What's happening, Deanna? Yes, we are going to do another one later on tonight. Give me about an hour away from right now-ish, and we'll be doing another painting tonight. And I wanted to thank Honeybees for grabbing this one during the show. The first show back in like 3 days. It feels like a lifetime when you're away from your easel. Have you ever moved houses and then you can't paint because all your stuff is all boxed up? You're like, it's right there, but I can't do anything. I was like 5 hours away, a 5-hour drive away from my own place. And so it's nice to be back in on my own easel and with my own stuff, my own, you know what I mean? It's awesome. Don't get me wrong, Danny was awesome. I love going up to that studio, and I'm gonna do it. I would do it every month if I could. But it's nice to have your own. It's like going and sleeping in the 5-star hotel. You still get back and you still appreciate your own bed, right? Like your bed is the best bed. So let's go. We're gonna finish these guys off, and then looks like we lost the bait came off the hook. So we're going to say goodbye to the YouTube and the Facebook crew. We love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for watching for so long, sticking here with us all the way through. And man, Crisp Winter, that's a cool title too. Sticking with us through to the end. And so I appreciate you guys. Remember, you can rewatch this painting over and over and over again on the tube over there. It's gonna be in the live section and in the literally every single step playlist. We also have another one very similar, much bigger, available on the site as well. Go check those out. And until I see you guys over there on YouTube and Facebook again, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And blah, blah. Is he gonna go, baboosh? Oh no, I just did it. Literally just did it. I wasn't gonna do it, and then I did it.